Well, hi folks, welcome again. Ken Ring, www.predictweather.com. Today I thought we'd comment on the moon cycles. There are many cycles to the moon, and there are cycles within cycles, and smaller ones, of course, within the larger ones. And they range from 3 hours, that's a pulse if you like, to 100,000 years. There are 12 significant cycles for the weather, but there are 3 main ones. And it's the main ones that we've been talking about mostly on this series of blogs. And the rest are more relevant to seasons and climate. Now, the 3 main ones are the new moon to the new moon cycle, the course of the 29-day month, which is called the phase. And at the moment we're in the last quarter phase of this. And the phase is about the timing of the air tide, and it tells you what time of the day the rain, if there is rain about, will fall. So the last quarter moon, that tells you that most weather events will be in the afternoon and they'll be in the early evening. The second cycle is the declination, which we've been talking about the moon going down and coming up, which is the moon's crossing the hemispheres of the world every 27 days, goes from north to south and back again. And declination tells you about the direction of the winds and therefore likely temperatures that are going to be generated depending on where you live. There's also a changing of barometric pressures as the moon moves between the hemispheres. And declination tells us what time of the 27-day month more than usual rain and or wind are most likely to occur. And at the moment the moon is the furthest south, so New Zealand down here in the south, the southern hemisphere, has got cold coming, and for example Ireland has got warmth coming because the moon's forces are dragging warm air up from the equator. The northern half of Australia isn't that much affected by the southerlies that come from the southern declination, but the southern half of Australia is affected by the southerlies that come up to the bight. For example, in the next couple of days, Adelaide and Melbourne will probably get some showers, some colder winds, some southerlies hitting them, coming right through from the sub-Antarctic there. The third cycle is the Perigee one, in which the moon comes closer to the Earth on its 27-day beat. And the Perigee, for example, was a week ago. It brings wind and it exaggerates the effects of the season. So if it's the summer, then it gets hotter, which produces rain because of evaporation. And if it's winter where you are, then it goes colder, and that can result in more snow, even out of season snow, if it's towards the end of the season. So that's what we saw about a week ago. We saw a cyclone forming in the north of Australia because of the heat, and snow over parts of the heat of the season, snow over parts of the northern hemisphere because of the cold of the season. So because all these factors are predictable, well, just using basic astronomy, we can put all this together and we can come up with a prediction for weather. And the combinations of the cycles are therefore also predictable. And it so happens that the combinations also recycle in the same way that the tides do. In fact, the combinations are also governed locally by the same tide cycles as the ones at the beach. So I hope that explains what we're doing at www.predictweather.com, and that others will look onto this method as well, get with it and examine it a little bit for predicting their weather. And it's a whole different way of thinking about weather, but it is so useful because we can make decisions about farming, skiing, fishing, gardening, in fact anything we plan to be doing, and we don't have to waste time wondering and wasting money waiting for particular weather to arrive or stop. It's like looking into a crystal ball, except that it's very logical and everybody can do it or find out what to do. You don't have to be specially talented to do it. So remember to get my free book, Predicting the Weather by the Moon, off the website. It's 230 pages. You can download it free, it won't cost you anything, and you can start to predict all this stuff for yourself. What I've given you today is just a short summary of some of those things. Thanks for watching. Bye.